changing your world with the gospel of the kingdom, opening doors you've never imagined. From the Favor Center in Hickory, North Carolina, author and teacher Dr. Jerry Grillo gives you the keys necessary to open the doors of change and take you into your destiny. Get ready to receive the instruction you need to alter your future and allow you to enter into your next season. Welcome to GodStrong TV with Dr. Jerry Grillo.
Hi, you're watching GodStrong TV, and I'm Dr. Jerry Grillo. Listen, we're going through a time of economic crisis. They're trying to do stimulus packages and trying to get money out. But you know what? I don't believe that the church, I don't believe those that are covenant connected are in a recession or in a depression. I believe we're in a revolution. But if you watch the news and you look around, most churches, many are hurting. Many are going through crisis. And God has anointed me. And just to tell you a little bit about me, when I was molested as a child from 8 to 12, I was dyslexic in high school. I graduated high school with a 1.944 GPA. When I tell you that when God heals the inner man, your external world begins to change, believe it. I wrote a book called Saved But Damaged, and it's all around the world already. People are writing me. People are writing me about being healed. People are writing me about going through, coming out of being molested. I was in a church in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was talking about saved but damaged. And a 70-year-old woman walked into the altar, and she fell into my arms, and she began to cry. And she said, I was molested as a child at 12 years old. I never told a soul. I've been through 2 or 3 marriages. I've been through all kind of relation baggage and wrecks. And tonight, at 70 years old, you're the first human I told. And when she got it out, I got news later that God healed her, and she had a better life at the end of her life than she did her whole life, because she was emotionally wounded and nobody wanted to talk about it. The wounds are inevitable. They're there. We all have imprintings. We all have past. We all have pains. And I was looking through the Bible, and I was thinking of Acts chapter 3 in the Word of God, where the man was laid at the gate beautiful. And the Bible said he was lame in both feet. He was lame from his mother's womb, and that was his imprinting. That was his wound. That was his condition. And in his condition, certain patterns had developed in his life, certain crises, certain problems that kept him locked in his position. Could you be locked in your condition? Could you be in a wound right now? Could you be in a crisis that your condition created? Yes, you could be saved, but has anybody dealt with your damage? Let me ask you something. Are you bitter? Do you walk in unforgiveness? Do you get angry easily? Do you hurt? Do you cry yourself to sleep? Do you feel lonely in a crowd? All these symptoms I went through. I went through a divorce in my early years when I was in Bible college. Can you believe that? I was in Bible college studying for the ministry, and because of my wounds and my emotional mess, I ruined a marriage I was in. Now, thank God that years later, He healed me, and that I've been married 20 years and got 2 wonderful children. But what I'm telling you is that until I faced the crisis in me, I couldn't change the crisis around me. And so I wrote a book, Saved But Damaged. And I want to give you some points. I want to give you 6 points that your condition, or 6 facts about your condition, that your condition or your wound may have placed you in. And that if you don't face the problem, you may live in the problem the rest of your life. You know, every season has a code of conduct to get in it. You're not discovering that code can make your present season permanent. I don't want you to live permanently beat up. I don't want you to be permanently defeated. God cannot fix your economics in your life, the economy of your life, till He fixes something inside of you. Do you realize that there's something in you that could be robbing something trying to get to your life? Could you be could you be rebuking the devil, but the devil's not your issue? Can you be rebuking an enemy, but it's not the enemy of supernatural problems that's got you all messed up? But the real enemy is inside of you. The real enemy is in your heart. Bitterness you won't talk about, a wound you won't expose. They laid the man at the gate beautiful. Let me give you some. Number 1, your condition may be placing you at the mercy of others' perceptions. Your condition may be placing you at others' perceptions of you. What other people think about you could be the prison you have entered into because of your condition, because of your wound. I'm teaching out of my book, Saved But Damaged. And we're going to be telling you before we go off the air how you can get emotional healing packet, that when you begin to deal with your emotions and you begin to heal on the inside, God's going to begin to heal everything in your world around you. I believe your marriage is going to be healed. I believe your home is going to be healed. I believe your children are going to be healed. I believe Isaiah 65 is going to be your thing. You're going to live in the house you build. You're going to eat the fruit of your seed. Your children are not going to be born into trouble. And you know what? If you're not willing to face the enemy in your present right now, then your offspring may have to fight the enemy you refuse to conquer right now in your present. Many people are living in the prison of someone else's perception. Because when you're wounded, you try to please everybody else around you. You try to please everybody in your world instead of pleasing you. Your condition could be placing you at the perception and mercies of others. That man was placed in a place where others thought he belonged. Are you living a place where others think you belong? Are you living a place where others think you ought to live? Is your home, is your atmosphere what others say it is and not what you say it is? Have you bought into the lie? Have you bought into the deception? Have you bought into the crisis of your own life? Many are living at that condition. They're placed at the mercies of what others think about them. They're laid at the mercy of what others have boxed them in. You know what? The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. This is your time of deliverance. Now is your time, not tomorrow. What you do now decides what God does next. The seeds of now determine the harvest of next. Don't turn off the television. Don't change the channel right now because the issues that I'm talking about are sensitive to you. And maybe you're feeling a flare-up in your emotions. That is a clue that God is talking to you. Maybe you're a single mom watching me. Maybe you're a teenager watching me. Listen, God wants to get you healed from the inside out. God wants to get you healed from head to toe. And I believe that when God begins to save you and fix your damage, there's a harvest about to explode into your life, an incredible harvest of change and increase. Now listen to the announcer. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back in a few moments.
Get ready to dive into GodStrong TV's new online home. Log on now to www.godstrongtv.com to get information about Dr. Jerry Grillo's ministry. Check out a media collection of video clips from teachings of Dr. Jerry Grillo. Also, watch services live as they happen. Submit a prayer request. And make sure you subscribe to a free and exciting podcast, Reality Check. That web address again, www.godstrongtv.com.
Hi, you're watching GodStrong TV. I'm Dr. Grillo, and I'm teaching out of my book, Saved But Damaged. Now listen, I want you to stick around the whole telecast because at the end, I'm going to be offering an emotional healing packet that when you begin to take this packet and dissect the information in it, that God is going to begin to bless you financially. He's going to bless you emotionally. And we want to show you how you're going to get that at the end of the telecast. And we're going to send you a free gift while supplies last. When you respond, the phone number will be on the screen, or you can go to, of course, GodStrongTV.com. I'm talking about emotional wounds, and out of my book, Saved But Damaged, powerful book that's all around the nation. And I just got off I'm giving you 6 points, and I just got off the first point where I talked about your condition, your wound could place you at the mercies of others' perception. Let me give you key 2. Number 2, your condition or wound can consume your focus. What you look at, you become. What you keep looking at, you eventually become. And your focus can decide what you're becoming. I always tell people that I don't really believe budgets work because I've come out of being broke. I know what poverty is all about. And I used to write budgets, but every time I wanted something, I just cross something off the budget. And you know what? God showed me one time. He said, why don't you quit looking at your debts? Why don't you stop looking at where you're at all the time? And why don't you start looking at where you're going? And I realized something, that my wounds had the same effect on me. That all I wanted to keep seeing was who hurt me and who betrayed me and who left me. The man was laid at the gate beautiful in Acts chapter 3, and all he could see was the lameness in his feet. And many of us, maybe not lame in our feet, but maybe you see the lameness of a betrayal. Maybe you see the brokenness of your heart. Maybe you see the father who is overcorrective and over-disciplined, and you picked up the imprinting that you can do no right, that no matter what you try to do will always be wrong, will always fail. And so you spend all your life not succeeding in life, but trying to please that voice in your ear that's always criticized you, that always rebuked you. And that's really your focus. Your condition has consumed your focus. Maybe you're a woman watching me that has a person that's very intimidated. You're very quiet. You're very reserved. And it's not you're reserved because you don't have something to say, but because your self-worth has become so damaged, and that's all you see is that you're not valued. Let me tell you something. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're God's best. You're not God's second best. Let me tell you something. You entered your mama's birth canal, and you swam, and you entered a race in the most hostile environment known to man. The acidity level of the womb was doing everything to kill you, and there were 400 billion other yous trying to win a race. But you had written in your DNA a winner's code. And you came out of your mama, and you breathed air into this earth. You breathe a winner. You became a winner. Engrafted in you, there's 75 trillion cells in your body, and each one of those cells has one strand of DNA with 3 billion characters. 75 trillion cells, and each one of them has one strand of DNA with 3 billion characters. If I took one of the strands of DNA in you and I stretched it out into a linear form, it'd be 6 feet long. And if I decided to read one strand of those 75 trillion, and I decided to read one of those 3 billion characters, I tried to read all 3 billion characters. It would take me 96 years if I decided to do it day and night without rest. It would take me 96 years to read that one strand of 3 billion characters of DNA, and 75 trillion of them is in your body. And each one of those characters are the code and description of your greatness, of your assignment, of your purpose. But the enemy has bought you into a lie, has consumed you into believing. Keep looking at your wound, because that's all you are. You're bitter wells. You're unforgiving waters. You're never going to amount to nothing. You're stupid. You're dyslexic. You've heard that all your life. I have. But guess what? The devil is a lie. Written in the pages of this book is information. In the information that I'm going to offer you here shortly is going to be keys to begin to heal and slam those doors that are robbing you from the prosperous blessings of God's future. God didn't send Jesus to get you to heaven. God sent Jesus to get heaven back to you. And He is your deliverer. I can imagine a day without being able to call on Him. I can imagine what it would be like in the midst of facing my crisis, that I couldn't lay my burdens and cast all my cares on the Lord. He does care. Many are living in their conditions and focused in their bitterness and their problem. You're never going to your future being bitter and hating people in your present. Number 3, your condition may have decided your occupation. He was a beggar for alms. He begged for alms in Acts. He was begging for alms. His condition decided his occupation, and now he's imprisoned in his occupation called his condition. My. He's enslaved into a pattern of poverty and begging and hoping that someone may stop to notice him. Placed at the door of the temple, close enough to hear the miracles, far enough away he can't receive it. Are you there? Are you close enough for your miracle, but are you too far away to receive it? Are you going through these crises and you really are laid in a good place but stuck with an ugly problem? Are you saved but damaged? He was put in a place that caused him to be a beggar. He's begging for alms every day. You know what he was asking for? People's change. Can you give me some change, man? Can you give me some change, man? And guess what? The Bible said one day Peter and John were walking to that temple, and this is what they said. They said, silver and gold have I none, but what we do have, I got some change. I got some change for you. But it's not going to be change in my pocket, but it's going to be emotional healing change where God begins to strengthen those weak and lame places in your life. Listen, God is ready for the lameness of your life to be strengthened. God is ready for the broken areas in your life to be healed. God is ready to turn you around and bring you into the daybreak of a good life, a great life, a better life. Listen to the announcer. I'll be back in a moment.
Too many of us wrestle with emotional wounds from our past. If you're tired of reliving past pains, then it's time for a change. Dr. Jerry Grillo has handpicked and assembled an extraordinary package on emotional healing just for you. But you need to act fast because the emotional healing package is available for a limited time only. For a seed gift to the ministry of $49 or more, Dr. Grillo will rush to you copies of his powerful books, Survive to Thrive and Saved But Damaged. You'll also receive the CD series, Overcoming the Seed of Bitterness. And as an added bonus, if you order right now, you will also receive the inspiring teaching, The Power of a Decision. Don't wait. Your peace of mind and future are far too important. Order the emotional healing package now for a gift of $49 or more. That's a $99 value for only $49. To order online, go to GodStrongTV.com. Or to order by phone from the U.S., dial 1-888-FAVOR-ME. That's 1-888-328-6763. From the U.K., you can call free of charge at 0800-8799-013. Your emotional healing is just a call or a click away.
Hi, you're watching GodStrong TV. Listen, the phone number is on the screen. Go to the phone. Don't hesitate. Go to the phone. Do it while the anointing is hot. Do it while the anointing is here and the deliverance is in this studio. And what God is doing here at the GodStrong Ministries, He's doing in your house. He's doing wherever you're watching. Maybe you're watching me in the office, or you're watching us sitting it's early morning, or whatever time of day you're watching this on the network. God wants to bring an emotional healing to your mind and to your heart. He wants to switch you from being broken to being healed. And this emotional packet, I'm telling you, I've got so many reports around the world on how this stuff has helped people save but damage and survive to thrive. And I'm telling you, this CD packet on bitterness, probably some of the greatest messages I ever preached. But you got to do this while supplies last. I want to send you 2 CDs also as a free gift on the power of decision, that you don't have to live in accident, you can live on purpose. We're talking out of my book, Saved But Damaged, and we're dealing with 6 keys on where your condition may place you. 6 places, or 6 hard places, or 6 hurting places that your condition may lay you into. And we just got done talking about that your condition may decide your occupation. And you're enslaved in a pattern that you cannot change. Let me give you key number 4 about your condition. Your condition may be placing you in an unchangeable mindset. Your condition may be placing you in an unchangeable mindset. Your mind is your world. I've heard many preachers say. I was reading a book the other day, and they asked Thomas Edison, how did you invent everything in the 20th century? And his comment was, thoughts were things. That your thoughts create things. That your thoughts are things. Think about this. Everything in the earth was a thought before it was a thing. Your mind creates your emotions. Your mind creates your world. The world you live in is not the world you're living in. The world you're really living in is the world you think you live in. And your problem of your past, the rejection of your past, the molestation of your past, the hurt of your past, the overbearing daddy, the absentee father, they all could have placed you in an unchangeable pattern or an unchangeable mindset, that you're stuck in a mindset that you think you can't change. I've heard people say this to me before. I wrote it down. This is who I am. Accept it. I was correcting somebody one time, mentoring them, and they looked at me and said, you're always mad. You always get offended easy. They said, this is who I am, and you need to accept me the way I am. And I jumped up and said, I will not accept you the way you are, because the way you are is not how God planned you to be. And your damage is leaking all over my office. Like the woman at the well, like the one with the issue of blood. We're letting our conditions stick us in unchangeable mindsets, patterns. And we can't change because we think we can't change. You know, the only limitations you have is the limitations you think you have. Or someone told you you can't do. I believe God's healing your damage right now. I believe while you're watching me around the world. Maybe you're watching me from Europe. Maybe you're watching me, you could be watching me from the UK. Let me tell you something about the economic crisis of wounds. Emotional wounds are far more damaging than physical wounds. And let me tell you something about emotional wounds. They don't ask what country you're born in. They don't ask what race you are. They just show up and they hit you. They just show up and hurt you. And I'll tell you, somebody can beat you physically and that thing could heal in 30, 45 days. But someone could speak words to you that could last a lifetime and stick you in an unchangeable mindset, an unchangeable pattern. Are you going through unchangeable mindsets right now? Are you stuck in a well of bitterness? Are you stuck in the rut of life and are you sowing seeds but harvests aren't coming? Are you praying but you don't seem to change? Are you going to church over and over? Are you tired of mundane religion? Religion hates better than it loves. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about relationship. I'm talking about becoming so in love with Christ that you can start loving yourself. The unchangeable pattern of a low self-esteem, insecurities, identity issues. Nobody can correct you. You're mad at everybody. That's the proof that the wound is leaking, and wounded people leak issues. A wife's watching me right now. You can't really love your husband and respect your husband because you really don't respect yourself. There's a husband watching me. You can't really love your wife, and you keep wondering why you're not committed to anything in your family. It's because somewhere you've seen the pain and wounds of your past families, and you're stuck in an unchangeable pattern. But I come to declare in the name of Jesus that the pattern is breaking right now. And you're like Jacob. You're wrestling, but you are at the break of day. And what you're wrestling with is saying, let me go. And you're saying no, because what you're really wrestling with is not to hang on to where you are. You're wrestling with being changed into another person. And God's chosen you in this telecast. He's not chosen you to win the world. He's not choosing you to become a millionaire right now. He's choosing you to change. And when you change, I believe that you're going to become an uncommon millionaire. You're going to become uncommonly wealthy because He healed your home and He healed your heart. Why? You got out of your unchangeable mindset. Oh, let me pray for your mind. Oh, don't let this telecast fade. Hurry. Go to the phones. We have prayer partners. Go to the phone. If the phones are busy, leave a message. Tell them that you want to sow a seed of $49. And that $49 seed, we want to send back to you the gift packet of emotional healing. Probably be some of the greatest thing you ever done in your life. Don't let the moment fade. Don't be stuck in this unchangeable pattern. Somebody asked me one time, why do you do what you do, Bishop? I said, because I see the person you are, and I see the person you're supposed to be. And I believe if you ever meet the person you're supposed to be, you will not stay the person you are. You will come up higher in your faith and higher in your understanding, and you will start believing in you like God believes in you. Why? Because of that DNA. Listen. You are incredibly, fearfully, wonderfully made. And the crisis is your curvature for your change. Listen to the announcer how to get this emotional healing packet. I'll be right back in a moment.
Too many of us wrestle with emotional wounds from our past. If you're tired of reliving past pains, then it's time for a change. Dr. Jerry Grillo has handpicked and assembled an extraordinary package on emotional healing just for you. But you need to act fast because the emotional healing package is available for a limited time only. For a seed gift to the ministry of $49 or more, Dr. Grillo will rush to you copies of his powerful books, Survive to Thrive and Saved But Damaged. You'll also receive the CD series, Overcoming the Seed of Bitterness. And as an added bonus, if you order right now, you will also receive the inspiring teaching, The Power of a Decision. Don't wait. Your peace of mind and future are far too important. Order the emotional healing package now for a gift of $49 or more. That's a $99 value for only $49. To order online, go to GodStrongTV.com. Or to order by phone from the U.S., dial 1-888-FAVOR-ME. That's 1-888-328-6763. From the U.K., you can call free of charge at 0800-8799-013. Your emotional healing is just a call or a click away.
Go to the phone, use the numbers, go to my website, GodStrongTV.com. Order the emotional healing. There's no way in 30 minutes I can give you all the information you need that I believe will bring inner healing. Many are wounded, many are hurting. They tell me that the average church member is lasting 3 to 5 years before they leave and go to another church. And I ask myself, why? Why are people so easily breaking commitments? Why are people so easily breaking covenant with one another? Well, in our country, divorce is running crazy. They say almost 68% of marriages end up in divorce. We've lost an inner peace. Our minds are stressed out. We're going through a lot of frustration, but I believe there's a healing on this show. I believe that God is healing your mind right now. Unforgiveness and bitterness and wounds and rejections. And I know the closet of rejection. Listen, let me talk to you. I know what it feels like to be in a crowd but feel alone. I know what it feels like to sit around my family and don't feel like I measure up. I know what it feels like to sit in a crowd with a bunch of preachers or other men and women who are successful. And no matter what God does for me, I always felt unsuccessful. And it wasn't because something that was going on around me, it was what was going on inside of me. Don't let this moment pass. Go to the phone and order this information, this product that I've put together. My book, Saved but Damaged, is going around the world right now. People are writing us, calling us, talking about how God is healing them. Then the sequel to it, Survive to Thrive. Noah didn't sit around waiting for his ship to come in. Noah built his. I want you to get ready to build your ship of healing, build your ship of prosperity. I want you to get ready to begin to get to your future. And then listen, probably the greatest CDs I've ever preached, 5 CDs on overcoming bitterness. When you overcome this bitter problem, God begins to bring better things in your life. And if you do it now, there's 120. God shared with me that there was 120 that were going to connect with me and sow a seed of $49. Now, when you 120 sow the seed, do it while supplies last. You 120 that sow a seed of $49. Now, we made it an offering that when you sow the $49 seed, we want to sow you this emotional healing pack back into your life that you can get tax deduction and you can get a credit for your seed. But when you sow, wrap your faith and your expectation around that $49 seed. Listen, use your Visa card, use your debit card. But when you do it while supplies last. I'm going to send you 2 CDs on the power of making better decisions. Most of the crisis in your life is because of bad decisions. Not the enemy judging you. It's not God judging you. It's bad decision. Now listen, I got a minute left. Let me minister to you. I know you're hurting. I know you're going through crisis. I couldn't imagine a day without being able to pray and talk to Jesus. Listen, don't let this moment pass. Call on the name of the Lord. Some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but me, I'm going to trust in the name of the Lord my God. And I know that my economy and my stimulus plan is in the kingdom of God, and I want yours to be also. Don't let it go by you. Ask the Lord right now to heal the wounds in your heart. Ask Him to touch your mind. Ask Him to touch your heart. Ask the Holy Spirit, He's the Spirit of wisdom, to enter into wherever you're watching me, whether it's your living room, whether it's your office, maybe you're watching me from your bedroom or even your bathroom, running in and out, getting ready. Listen, ask the Spirit of wisdom to come into your heart right now. And I believe that the rest of your life will be the best of your life. In the name of Jesus, I know that God is about to make you GodStrong. Listen, I can't wait to see you next week. Until then, remember, you might be strong. We're going to make you GodStrong.